Hey, welcome back to the channel all about real estate. My name is Louis, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at the Sacramento region. We're going to do a deep dive on where we are and potentially where this market is headed. A lot of the questions we get on a daily basis is the market going to crash? What do we think that prices of real estate will look like in the future? So we're going to go over some of those details today. If you are new to the channel, we discuss all things finance, real estate, and investing. Please consider smashing that subscribe button and tapping that like button below. Let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and walk through some of the data that we have here. So the first chart up on the screen is going to show us the number of for sale, sold, and pended homes. These are single family homes in the Sacramento, Placer, and El Dorado counties. The light green bar represents the number of homes for sale. So for November of 2021, which is last month, we do not have the December data yet. There were about 1,500 homes listed for sale, with about 2,074 homes that sold. And there were this red, that was the dark green line there, or dark green bar rather. And the red line indicates the number of pended homes that are under contract to be sold. 2,152 homes that went under contract. So now these homes that went under contract are likely going to sell in December, possibly early January, just depending on the timeline for those escrows. Now, a couple things that I want to point out here. If we look back over the year, you can see we go back 1 year to November of 2020. Inventory was slightly higher, number of sold homes were slightly higher, and number of pended homes were slightly lower. This to me just basically indicates that it's not going to be a huge change off last year. It looks to be following that trend rather nicely. Historically speaking, November, December, we come into slower months where there's less inventory available for people that are shopping for a home. And, sellers are kind of waiting for the holidays to be over so that they can prep their homes and get them ready to sell in the springtime. And as you can see here, you can see as, January, February, March, and April, and May and June, you can see that the number of homes listed for sale, this light green bar, starts to go up all the way into July and August. Next up on the screen is the average price per square foot. This is actually one of my favorite metrics to look at because I feel like it's a good indication of value in a marketplace, or at least a tool that you can use to identify if a property that you are considering, if there is a good value there. What's interesting is as of last month, the average price per square foot was sitting at about $326 a foot. Versus a year ago, we were at $273 a foot. So we're up about $50 a square foot. That is roughly a 20% change year over year. And that kind of falls nicely in line with the price appreciation that we've seen as well. We have seen about a 20% increase in home price out here in the Sacramento, Placer, and El Dorado counties over the last 12 months, which is pretty outstanding. That is not your typical market. Generally speaking, over the long haul, we might see 3 to 5%. One thing to really keep in mind with real estate is it is not linear. It's not guaranteed that your home will go up in value. They can go up and they can go down. And what we've seen here, one thing I want you to pay a little closer attention to is in the summer months of this last year, July, August, and September, we actually saw the price per square foot go up a little bit and then kind of fall down and sort of taper off. So maybe we're reaching a point now where, home prices are starting to level off. We sort of caught up to that affordability index. Interest rates have risen slightly, maybe putting a little bit of downward pressure and maybe calming things down a little bit. So the next chart here is the average days on market identified with the orange bar here, and then the sales price versus the original list price. And so we can see that in November, we're averaging about 20 days on the market. This is very low. Homes are selling really quick, everyone. But you can see back in, let's see, March, April, May, June, and July. I mean, we're basically, most of these homes were selling in under 2 weeks, which is insanely fast. Even a year ago, we were sitting at about 20 days on market. So we're this market has been very tight. It's been extremely competitive. And all signs are pointing to that continuing into the new year here. One thing that's interesting to see here, this green line, is that back in, let's see, April, May, and June, homes were selling on average for about 104% of the original listing price, whereas now we're seeing that number taper, and we're starting to see them sell for about 100% of the list price. Meaning, if a home is listed for $500,000, it's selling for about $500,000. So this is another chart that I'd really like to share with you. It is the month's worth of inventory. And what this basically is an indication of is if no other additional inventory or homes hit the market for sale, it would take this amount of months to sell everything that's listed on the market. So as of last month, there was 0.7 months worth of inventory, meaning if no other homes hit the market, it would only take less than a month to sell everything that's out there. And to provide a little bit more context, anything from 0 to 3 months worth of inventory is considered a seller's market. From 3 to 6 months is considered a neutral market, and 6 months or greater would be considered a buyer's market. And so you can see even over the past year and a half here, inventory has been exceptionally low. We have probably averaging about a little bit under a month's worth of inventory here for about a year and a half in this region. So it is very much a seller's market at this time. All right, so now that we've looked at some of the charts, I just want to go ahead and leave you with some of my personal thoughts on the market and where I think that we are headed. So I jotted down some notes. First and foremost, inventory is low. We definitely know that it is a seller's market at this time. So what does that mean for buyers that are looking to get involved in this market? It just means that there is a lot of competition out there. So you will have to get pretty aggressive when you find a home that you really like. In many cases, you may have to bid over the listing price if it makes sense. In order to determine that, you'll want to talk to your real estate professional, take a look at the price per square foot, see if it justifies the value or the offer that you're looking to make on that property. The second thing I want to note is that you cannot get discouraged in this market. It is highly competitive. So you got to keep your head up. You got to get out there, go look at the property right after it hits the market, do a virtual walkthrough if you have to, and then make an educated and informed decision. The other thing that I might add is that it would be really wise to really define the criteria of the home that you're looking for, like really hone in on a specific location or a specific type of property so that when those homes come available and they hit the MLS, you're able to jump on them right away. And then just make sure that your real estate agent understands exactly what you're looking for as well, so that they can keep an eye out and get those automatic alerts, look at these properties right away and get you into them. Second note that I want to mention is that mortgage rates are still extremely low. So yes, rates have ticked up a tad, but historically speaking, they are still incredibly low. 30-year fixed mortgage rate today is somewhere right around 3%. That is incredible. It's allowing you to extend your purchasing power. So even though prices of homes are a little higher than they were a year ago, that reduction in those interest rates are allowing those homes to be they're within reach, or they're a little bit more affordable. The downside to that is the down payments are increasing as the purchase prices increase. So in some cases, you're going to have have a little bit more savings to be able to afford some of those homes at the higher price points. And then the last thing that I want to note is that we obviously have a home shortage out here. We have a lot of folks from the Bay Area that are coming up, or people moving around from different areas coming into the Sacramento region. They're landing in Sacramento County, Placer County, El Dorado County, which is great. It's a beautiful area to live. The downside to that is we don't have a lot of new construction that's bringing enough inventory online. These home builders cannot keep up with the demand right now. Now, if we continue to move into the future with low inventory levels like we've seen today, my guess or my prediction is that housing prices, even if interest rates rise, are going to stay relatively level, maybe even continue to appreciate here going into the future. I could see some downward pressure on housing prices if rates really get up there, like maybe they jump 1% or 1.5% from where they are today, so maybe they go from 3 to like 4 or 4.5%, then I certainly see the housing prices softening a little bit. But it doesn't mean that the buyer demand won't continue to be there and we have this huge shortage of inventory. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for today's video. If you found the content useful, please consider sharing this video, tapping that like button, tapping that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you again so much for watching. Take care.